Agent Carter Episode 6, Ascend to Air. I definitely enjoyed this episode. I was really excited for it based on the preview for it because it's Agent Carter really on the run. Like, the entire series has been her doing like her little side mission, working a little bit with the SSR, doing a little bit of stuff with Jarvis, working towards the goal of helping Howard instead of just capturing him because she does believe that he isn't instantly just the criminal putting out doomsday weapons and stuff. So in this episode, I really enjoyed the fact that she was busted. They found out that she was doing her little side mission, and unfortunately, all the links are just tied to all the different deaths in the series. Like even in the first episode, it's her at the club in a wig, which probably makes it worse. Like she's hiding her identity and all this extra stuff. But she's at this club where a guy dies. She was somewhere else where a different guy died, and all this extra stuff. So it was really cool to see her actually on the run, and it'll be interesting to see how things play out in the next episode because it seems like a lot of stuff really ramps up all in one episode. So I'm incredibly excited for that. Which, fortunately, I guess I'm like a week behind, so it comes out tomorrow. But it seems like it's going to be really fun, and it'll be really cool to see how she regains everyone's trust because she had some pretty cool merits, like especially in the last episode, and then to go from like the last episode where she leads this mission and she knows the terrain and she gets like the Howling Commandos and all this stuff, to go from that episode to this one where they kind of go from praising her and saying like she did a good job to kind of really considering her a criminal. It's very interesting to watch like these polar opposite episodes of how everyone sees Peggy and what she has to do to either avoid them or show that she does deserve to fit in with them. And it's pretty interesting, and I definitely love the opposite sides that we get to see compared to last week's episode or 2 weeks ago. But it was definitely a great one. I really enjoyed it. The action was pretty cool. There wasn't a ton of real action, like big fight scenes or anything like that. It was more like a suspense movie type of action where it's like you aren't sure if she'll get busted. You don't know what some people are going to do and how they're going to help her, especially towards the end when she gets busted, and it's because she runs into the woman she's been looking for through the entire episode. And I enjoyed that. I thought it was definitely cool. I loved all the stuff before everything got serious. It was a really funny episode. Like all the stuff with Jarvis in this one, I think was really well done, and them going through like the list of women that Howard had met so that they could find this one specific woman that used to belong to Leviathan, or I guess still works with Leviathan. It was really funny, and like when they were in the jewelry store, he was like, they're crossing off supermodels and actresses, and he's like, you shouldn't cross her off because when I had to escort her out, you didn't see the look in her eyes, and I believe he says like the gates to the darkest abyss or something like that. I thought that was a really silly line. It was just really funny, and he showed like genuine fear from just an old memory he had of a woman, and I thought that was so funny. And then they go through the list, and all these women hate Howard and stuff, but they put all of their physical anger onto Jarvis, and that was just really funny. He got smacked twice, and then like Peggy stops the third woman, and then she kicks him in the shin, and it was just really funny. I thought it was a well done little montage scene, and it was just really silly and funny for his character. And then when stuff got really serious, he actually had two pretty cool moments. Like the first part was when he hit a guy over the head. It was basically like an empty sugar container, like it was completely empty. So that was a cool little moment. And then like at the very end of the fight, he got like the last hit in when one of the agents was getting up, and he hit him with the tray. And it was for like a split second, but he smiled really fast, and then he took off, and it was like he had his big action moment. Like he was smiling like I feel kind of badass right now. I took out like two guys in one hit, one hit apiece, and I just enjoyed that. It was kind of funny for his character. Like I said, it was really really quick when he hit the guy, but it was like like man, I'm in the action. Like Peggy's normally doing all the work. Like even when he helped before when they were I think it was when they first found all the big crates and stuff. I think he hit the one guy with like a pipe, and he still couldn't take that guy out. And it was just really funny. Like it was a cool, like tiny 1 second little smile he had, and then he took off. But I enjoyed it. It was really cool for his character. He had like all the funny moments, and then really it was like once he was out of the episode, that's when it got really serious because it was all about Peggy and her either running into other characters where it's like they find out different secrets, like Angie finding out that she didn't work for the telephone company, and her running into I believe her name, she called herself Dottie, but whoever the assassin is, it was definitely cool seeing those interactions and Angie helping her out, and of course Dottie kind of revealing herself to be the Leviathan assassin. I thought that was a really cool scene, and she didn't get to kill her, so that led to Peggy being caught, but Dottie's still out there, and whatever happened in the preview with this giant explosion that attacked the SSR, I would have to assume that that's Dottie. And in this episode, we also find out that not only is Dottie a part of Leviathan, which we already knew, but we find out that the psychiatrist who we thought was a prisoner to basically help the engineer work for Leviathan, we find out that he's actually a part of Leviathan, and he isn't just a psychiatrist. He clearly is, and if he's not, then obviously he's just, very observational. He knows stuff. But he has these psychiatric skills, but he also kind of blends in a little bit of mind control with the ring and how it makes the weird high-pitched noise, and he tells people to focus and stuff, and he can sort of do certain things, and he can suggest stuff that makes people even go out and kill themselves, like in this episode where he walked into the street. But I thought it was really interesting. I never would have expected that guy to be a villain. I thought he really was just there to help them out. He gave us he allowed us to get like a tiny bit of backstory on the chief. Like, it was about as simple as it gets. It's like he has an actual family, and that's pretty much it. He has a family, and he's having some marital issues. But it was cool to get to see at least some side of the chief that isn't just the chief. And I think we got that a little bit in the last episode as well, or I guess the episode before that, when he went to Russia to meet the one guy and he was acting like he was giving him a little cyanide capsule. I enjoyed that scene. It was like a little bit of an insight. Like he'll kind of play the game and get the info that he needs, but he's not going to help out someone he considers to be a bad guy. So, these they give us little hints and stuff like that for his backstory, but it was definitely enjoyable. It was, like I said, it was at least a little bit more than he's just the chief. So I did enjoy that. It was, like I said, very surprising to see that the psychiatrist was actually a villain. He had the one guy go out and kill himself, and that was kind of like a mix between like a flashback and flash forward type of thing. And then we didn't really see him throughout the rest of the episode, so I don't know if he is going to be working, side by side with Dottie, and he's going to be inside, and he's obviously going for some weapons and stuff. But I don't know if he's going to stick around and try to take things out from the inside, because he does want Peggy killed. So I don't know if he's going to stick around, if he's still there, because they kind of go through the span of a couple of hours. So if he is still there, he'll probably catch when, like, oh, Peggy's in the building. She obviously has a little bit more information. He might know that because we don't really know how much info that, they really know about everything that's going on. So he'll probably try to kill her from the inside while Dottie tries to do some stuff from the outside. But I'm definitely excited for the next episode. I really love this one. The couple action scenes that we got, which was really like just the one action scene when they were in the automat. I enjoyed that. I like the scene, all the stuff when they were inside the Griffith. I thought was actually pretty cool. Like, the guys going in was a really funny scene. Like, the woman being like, you can't just come in here, and she wants their badge numbers and this and that. I thought that was pretty funny. Angie, like, acting and crying and stuff. That's always really funny to me when they have the guys do, like, the super uncomfortable acting, where it's like, I don't know what's happening right now. And Angie, like, walks up to the guy. I can't think of his name. I can remember Sousa, but the guy who kind of was like, the second in command or whatever, she kind of got him with her acting, and it's like, what's your grandmother's name? He's like, it's Gam Gam, because he was trying to help her out. And it was just a funny little scene where they had no idea what to do, but I really loved that. And she's like, made them really uncomfortable, like, I don't really know how to help. And he's like touching her head, like, great, like, feel better, like, please don't. I think they said, like, please don't do that twice, like, don't cry, like, just, like, please stop. So it's always funny to watch them be, like, super uncomfortable about that type of stuff to me, because it's just silly. Like, it's just someone crying and they get like super uncomfortable, like I don't know what to do. So I really enjoyed that scene. It was definitely funny, but the episode was really cool. I was a bit surprised by the end of the episode. I didn't expect Peggy to actually get caught because, Dottie was going to come around and then it's just like, oh, she kissed her with the lipstick on. I didn't know what she was going to do. I was thinking like maybe she was going to try to stab her in the back, or she was going to like either put something on her to try to track her down or do something. I wasn't really sure what was going to happen. And then she kissed her and it's like, oh, she had the lipstick on. And that was pretty much it. She took her out, and then, I guess fortunately, they both got caught, and then Peggy was just taken to jail rather than killed, or, to the SSR. So it was definitely a great episode. I love the sort of half and half split between, like, the real funny comedy. At least I thought it was really, really funny. The stuff with Jarvis was very well done. And then the second half was really like a suspense type of thing where Peggy's just on the run. It's like we don't really know what's going to happen. We have the SSR looking for her. We don't know what the heck is going to happen with Dottie, like, being the Leviathan assassin. It was like, when are they going to run into each other? We have, like, the whole new element with the psychiatrist being a bad guy, and he's now inside of the SSR looking for weapons, and, maybe he's going to try to, like I said, destroy it from the inside out. Who knows? But now we have, like, new elements. Peggy's been captured, so she's locked up, and she's going to have to try to regain everybody's trust, and that's going to be the big thing for the next episode. Like, how is she going to do that? And based on some of the things we saw, especially like the big explosion at the end of the preview, I have to assume there are going to be quite a few different moments where she's going to say something, and of course they aren't going to believe her at first, but some crazy stuff is going to go down, and then they're going to realize that Peggy was telling the truth and that she really is working to help Howard. It's not that she's working with Howard to do a bunch of illegal things, but, something like a giant explosion going off and someone saying, like, this could possibly happen, it kind of makes you put two and two together, like, okay, you aren't really doing what we would have wanted you to because you were working behind our back, but at least you weren't, like, a terrorist or anything like that. So I think that's kind of how the next episode is going to go, but I love this one, of course. I want to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below, let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and what do you guys think about this episode of, like, Peggy being on the run. Did you enjoy it? Did you like the little silly search they had with Jarvis getting slapped and, unfortunately kicked in the shin, which really, really hurts. I'm sure a lot of people know that experience. But I love the episode. I thought it was, like I said, I thought it was a great mix between the first half being really funny and then the second half being really serious. But, of course, I want to know what you guys thought. So, like I said, please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.